What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to On the Topic Of, which is a series I do right here on the YouTube channel every single Friday, where I choose a piece of video game news that has been in the spotlight in the past week or so, and I give my thoughts and opinions on it. And this week we got the news that the Xbox 360's production cycle was finally coming to a close after an entire decade of it being on the market. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So now, as I said, last November marked the 10th anniversary of the Xbox 360, and since then, 78 billion hours have been spent gaming, 486 billion gamer score has been earned on 27 billion achievements, and 25 billion hours have been spent in entertainment apps, aka Netflix, alone. Those are some absolutely incredible numbers. So now it is very important to make note of the fact that everything that you can do on the Xbox 360 is not changing. Nothing is going away. You can still have your full access to Xbox Live. You can still buy your games, your movies, your music, whatever else you do on your Xbox 360. The functionality of the system is staying the same. It's just that they aren't being produced anymore. So now that we've made that statement very clear, I feel like the PlayStation 3 is going to follow suit very closely with this production cycle end, because the consoles have always been pretty much side by side as far as the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 goes, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about how incredible I feel the Xbox 360 has been as a console, because it pretty much defined the last generation for a ton of people. Now, what I mean by this is that some franchises were literally born on the Xbox 360, and the one that comes to my mind is Gears of War. Because, of course, later this year we're seeing the release of Gears of War 4, and I've been playing the beta, and it's pretty much what you would expect from Gears of War. It feels very much like the classic Gears experience, and that experience was born on the Xbox 360. And over the course of the Xbox 360's life cycle, we have seen 4 different Gears of War games. Then whenever the Xbox One came out, we saw the release of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. All of the games were ported over to the Xbox One through the new backwards compatibility program, and now we're seeing Gears 4 coming out this fall. And so just to see that this franchise has been, number one, born on the Xbox 360, number two, grew into the franchise that it is today, being a flagship of the Xbox name itself, that's absolutely incredible, and the Xbox 360 is the console to thank for that. Now, there are some franchises that pretty much, although they didn't make their debut on the Xbox 360, came into their own through the Xbox 360's generation and through that system itself. Now, Halo is one example of this, and it pretty much explains itself. Of course, you have the original Xbox Halos that came out, Halo 1, Halo 2, and those were the basis of the franchise. They pretty much laid the foundation, and then over the course of the Xbox 360's life cycle, the elements that made the first 2 Halo games very successful were pretty much built upon. The multiplayer was improved, the story was improved, etc., until you get to the Xbox One, and then 343 Industries takes stuff over, and I am a huge fan of where they're taking that franchise going forward. Now, perhaps one of the best examples of a franchise that has flourished on the Xbox 360 is Forza, and it's still flourishing today on the Xbox One. But throughout the entire course of the Xbox 360 generation, every Forza game continuously improved by leaps and bounds. You had better graphics, you had better gameplay, you had better handling of cars, you had different kinds of cars you could use, and a growing number of those with each new entry. That's what really blew me away with the Forza franchise. Now, of course, you could not forget the fact that Forza Horizon was released on the Xbox 360, and that completely changed the game because it broadened the user base. It broadened the gamer's perspective of what Forza really was. Because for me, Forza Motorsport was pretty much an official kind of racing game. Now, with Forza Horizon, there was a little bit more story, there was a little bit more fun to be had. It wasn't so by the rules, by the books. It was a fun little spin-off franchise, and that's kind of still where people see it today, and it's becoming more and more popular year after year. Now, for me, I'm always tempted to get sad about the fact that the Xbox 360 is coming to an end, because for me, it's the end of an era. It's the end of a generation. You know, we saw so many games through this console that it's kind of disappointing to see it finally leave. However, that's not necessarily the way that I want to see it, and I'm not going to see it that way, because I would rather look at the entire generation from kind of a top-down perspective. You see the beginning, the end, and the middle of the entire generation. Whenever the console was released on November 22nd, 2005, way back in the day, way back in the day, as in, 11 years ago, woohoo. But whenever you're looking at it from that perspective, you have no idea how far the console is going to go. Will this last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? We don't know. It's just an incredible new piece of technology. With all of the knowledge that we have now, we can look back from a factual and from just an observational standpoint and look at the incredible leaps and bounds that have been made on the Xbox 360 generation and admire it for the golden age of gaming that it really did bring us. So as far as the Xbox 360 goes, in conclusion, it was a fun console, we got some awesome experiences from it, and I still suck at Halo, but damn if it isn't fun. So there you guys have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like down below and comment and let me know if you had an Xbox 360, if you have an Xbox 360, or do you plan on continuing to play it until those servers shut down sometime in the next couple of years. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and if you are new to the channel or you've never seen any of my other content, I upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week, and I'm streaming live on twitch.tv/PrettyChillGuy311. All of that stuff is down in the description box below. But as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. Rest in peace, 360. Peace.